Invest 98L is currently has a moderate chance of development. This is the latest from the National Hurricane Center. We have the entire Atlantic tropics out open right now because Tropical Storm Peter. There's been no change in the intensity. Neither with Rose. We have a area of interest which has a 10% chance of development. So we'll go over this very quickly. Uh, as a storm force non-tropical low pressure system, the remnants of Odette is located several hundred miles southeast of Newfoundland. This low can acquire some subtropical characteristics by the middle of the week as it slowly moves southeastward over warmer waters across the north central Atlantic Ocean before it moves northward over the cooler waters over the weekend. Additional information for the system, including storm warnings, can be found on the high seas forecast and everything. Yeah, so this is the main thing we're looking at this video. So this is Invest 98L, storms and thunderstorms associated with a tropical wave located several hundred miles south of the Cabo Verde Islands continues to show signs of organization, although recent satellite wind data indicate that the system lacks a surface circulation. That's common for things like these to do that. It's common for these storms to not have its center of circulation at first, but as it starts to develop, as it starts to organize a little more, it then starts to really, just like it starts to develop that low level center of circulation we're all familiar with. So, yes, upper level winds, however, are expected to become more conducive for further development during the next day or two, and a tropical depression is likely to form by Thursday or Friday while moving westward at 10 to 15 miles across the eastern and central tropical Atlantic. So, yeah, only a 40% chance as of in the next 48 hours. Still an 80% chance for the next 5 days, but now has a medium chance of developing in the next 2 days. So that's a pretty big update, and that's not necessarily a huge update, but it's an update. It's an upgrade. Now it was at 30% last time. Now it's at 40%. So the chances are starting to get up there. So anyway, this is the satellite imagery right here. As you can see, this confirms there's not really a low-level center of circulation, although there is like some rotation, although there is that some circulation right here and everything. So yeah, and also the convective bursts have somewhat calmed down for a little bit, which, like I said, it's normal for these things to do this. Sometimes they just wind up and then they cool down and they calm down, then they wind up again. So it's just going through a little cycle right now. But regardless, it still has a medium chance of development in the next 48 hours. Let's go first. Let's pull up the tracks. And first, the HMNI only has it going out 24 hours, which, okay. But yeah, the rest of the models have it moving westward for the next 48 hours, and then moving more towards the west-northwest after that. It's still like gonna be over sea 7 days out, with now a couple of models indicating that it might start turning, but it's too early to say at this time. It's irresponsible for me to say if it's going to turn or not, because this is literally a week out. So there's that. Next is the intensity, which has updated quite a little bit. So yeah, the models now all agree it's going to be a tropical storm, and about some of the models have it as a tropical storm as early as 24 hours out. If it starts to ramp up in organization, it could get there. That more of the models at 36, most at 48, and all of them by the next 2.5 days have it at tropical storm status. And then the models split after that, with some models keeping it as tropical storm. The rest of them have it going up to a hurricane. So yeah, some of them, one of them has a couple of them have it going up to a Category 2. One of them has it staying at a Category 2. The rest of them have it going to the Cat 2, weakens to a Cat 1. It's I'm looking at these. It's more of a wait and see at this time. So I'm sorry to disappoint you guys, but it's just a little too early for me to say when this is going to turn into a tropical storm or a hurricane. So there you have it. This is the satellite imagery again. We're going to pull it back 60 frames. So there it is. This is what it was 6 hours ago. And as you can see, it's calmed down for a little bit. It's normal for these things to do that. So, yeah. Anyway, let's do the 5 key takeaways I have to this. First key takeaway is that the system is organizing, and it's not organizing at a very intense, very quick rate, but it is organizing at a modest rate, and it's going to basically pay dividends in the next few days. Second key takeaway: it's now has a moderate chance of development in the next 48 hours. So that's a bit of an update. It's not a huge change, but it is a change nonetheless, which really means that it'll start moving into those more conducive environmental conditions in a matter of a couple of days. So I'll be keeping an eye on that. It also has an 80% chance of development 5 days out, so pretty likely to develop. It just needs time to get to more conducive environments. So third key takeaway, majority of the models have it going westward, and then to the west-northwestward after that, with a couple of them starting a turn, but it's too early to say at that point. I can confidently say for the next 48 hours it's going to be moving west, or at least at a westerly motion, because sometimes these things wobble. So, fourth key takeaway is that all the models agree it's going to be a tropical storm at some point. And then the question is, the question is if it's going to be a hurricane or not. But it's a little too early to say at this time. A fair number of models have it getting up to hurricane strength, but it's just so far out that I can't really judge what it's going to do based on models that are 4 days out, because things can change in 4 days. So that's all I can say about that. Fifth key takeaway: the satellite imagery is looking a little less impressive, but it's likely going through another one of those cycles where it's calming down for a little bit, then it's going to start re-intensifying again. So yeah, that's the latest on 98L. Be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel, as well as turn on notifications for more updates.